because I'm doing it by myself. Hello, YouTube, because I just started recording already to get on track. Hi. Oh, someone else joined? What's up, H? Okay, that's cool. It's just us three and Fred, but that's not that bad, honestly. So today, it's just me. There's no special guest, and there's no other host because Puffer's taking the day off. Why did the music just stop? Okay, that was awkward. It stopped for a second for me. I was like, all right. This is gonna be maybe one of the worst podcasts ever because I might forget a lot of things I need to be talking about. But I wrote it down and hopefully I'll be able to keep myself in track. So thank you all for coming. We just to give a spoiler alert to whoever's watching the YouTube video, we only got 3 people here. Usually we have like I guess 6 or 7, but we only have 3, and that's sad. However, I don't care because the podcast is about talking, and you know, the more I say this, the more I feel more sad about this because I don't have Puffer here, and it doesn't feel right without Puffer. But okay, so I have a couple topics here today. Which is first off, I want to just give my appreciation to workers because they've been doing their best, you know, doing what they can do. Shout out to the new workers like H, Dog Sniffer, some others I think, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm really lazy and tired, so I'm not gonna be. I have some stuff pulled up for math and data for other talking points, but just for this one, I think it's repetitive at this point, so I'm not gonna cover too much on it. Just if you're a worker of Pon, I love and appreciate you and all that you. Thank you very much. Except for the one person I'm probably gonna fire after this podcast, but that's not what we're here for. So, ow. I only say that because I messaged them 2 days ago about their work performance and they never replied, but they spoke upon today, so I was like, okay, I'm your boss. Hello. But so loving yourself. Make sure you are loving yourself. I'm not gonna go too deep into this like I did last time because it's repetitive, but especially with all the drama in 2020, both online and just in the real world, you got to keep yourself moving, keep yourself grooving, keep yourself focused on yourself. Don't let anyone bring you down. Don't focus too much on the negatives because ain't nobody got time for that. Hi, Devin. Welcome to the podcast. So, one sec. I need to see that sounds good. Okay, so I'm a little louder than it, but I'm scared it's a little louder than me, so I'm gonna turn it a little bit down. Okay. Our next topic is, did you know, despite 2 podcasts, or just even last podcast, or two podcasts ago when we were talking about the head admin race and how the election was coming up, did you know that in 11 days, 11 days, the next head admin race is going to start for September 2020. So yes, that's exciting. And to go more on that, this could be one of the more important elections. I would say definitely more important than I don't know. Because last election was important, and I'm not gonna lie to you. After the results and everything that's going on after that, it's made me think less and less of keeping it made me feel as if we need to remove politics from the whole head admins thing much more. So these upcoming elections, I think the September one actually could potentially be the last one if things don't turn out the way they should be turning out. And I say that not to be rude or anything, but with all due respect, we've had this trend where every person who runs for head admin, they're doing all the stuff on the campaign, but then when they actually get the position, they don't do much. And if they do, they take a while to do it. And I say this because the biggest problem I see is that when it comes to the head admin position, I think a lot of people just think it revolves around policy, and that is not how it goes. And with all due respect to Sage, he's a great guy, great administrator. If you're watching this, hey, what's up? But to be crucial and honest, I'm disappointed. Because it took a long time before he actually, introduced a policy. And then we have these new health channels, which the majority of them haven't even been used yet. That's disappointing. And they're not going to be used that much soon unless he steps up. But like he said, for a lot of people, school's coming around, so it's going to take time for him. and that might delay stuff being put into those channels. And if that's the case, that's disappointing because you should have planned it out ahead of time, knowing that school would come. But what happens will happen, and so yeah, that happened. And then I'm trying to think of the other thing, which is no blog post, nothing. I don't know. It's just weird not seeing a blog post out. I might think about another blog post. I'm not sure, but it's just, you know, some of these big things that have been in Pond for a while may be removed because of an upcoming project that I'll get onto later. But upcoming kid admin race, I can't wait to see who runs in that one. Not, I'm sorry, but after last race, my expectations are hella low. So if you're watching and you think you're gonna run, please do it. Please do it. Just do it. Please do it the right way. Like, when you debate. But on to the next topic, August events, because we finally found the solution to movie night, so we can get back into movie nights. We're gonna get everything back into track. I know we're already 12 days into August, and so we're kind of late, but we're starting to plan out the events for August, you know, game night, and all that stuff. So we'll get there, hopefully, sooner rather than later. There's not that much of a big topic on that. I just thought I'd mention it. But you want to know what is a big topic? Approval ratings. Did you know we just had a form the other day go out with approval ratings? We got 40 responses. And I want to give in comparison to what the big deal with the approval rating stuff is right now. So back in, I think May, I'm not sure, or let me confirm, so I'm not giving wrong information. No, June. My apologies. Back in June, we sent out a Pond higher ups approval quality assurance, and the current head admin at that time, unknown nor Susan, had 66.7% of approval and 6.7% disapproval, with 26.7% being unsure. You fast forward to today, the current head administrator, Sage, has 40% approval, 30% disapproval, and 30% unsure. But the numbers are what matter here the most, because we had 15 responses last time. This time we have 40. And so when you look at the last one, the head administrator had 10 people in their favor, with 4 being unsure and only 1 actually disapproving. This time it's 16 who approve, 12 who disapprove, and 12 who are unsure. That's not good. And I'm not trying to say anything, Sage, but if you're watching this, I think you should try to reach out or try to improve, because yes, it's funny to react with a gif of Captain Jack Sparrow running away, but you have a very low approval rating, and that's bad. You have the approval rating that Max had at this actual time on the last form. And so we've updated head admin regulations recently to where if a current head administrator does get less than 40% approval from the community, they will not be allowed to seek re-election no matter what, because if the community doesn't approve you, you don't really need to go for that position again anyways. But moving more down the line, Dom, our current head admin aide, had 53.3% approval last time, 8 people, and 46.7% who were unsure, 7 people. But this time, she has 85% approval, with 34 people being happy with her, and 15%, 6 people who are unsure. That's a very big, move in the right direction, so I'm proud of that. And here's the next most important thing: administration. Obviously, it's unfair to compare Unknown's administration and Sage's administration when Unknown had a bigger administration, right? That's what anyone would think, because under Unknown there was much more administrators, which means it was more easy for him to have a better administration, right? That is wrong, because like I said, when it comes to head administrator, your job is not just policies. You are in charge of building an administration that keeps our community safe. And so right now we have a lot of moderators who could potentially go up to admin, but still, Susan or Unknown, they found their way to reach out and find some people and ensure that our admins were keeping on it. So at the time under Unknown, administration had a 93.3% approval rating, 14 people, and only one person, 6.7%, were unsure. But now administration under Sage has 40% approval, 16, with 40%, another 16 people being unsure, and 8 people, 20%, disapproving. So, there's a lot of bad stuff here right now with the approval rating, and we have a lot to work on, which is well, I'm about to come to my next my pawn project later that I've teased. Not to brag, but last time I got 100% approval rating, 15 people in favor of me. This time it dropped, but I think I did well because I didn't drop that much. 38 people this time, 95% were in my favor, and 2 people, 5% were not in my favor. So it's not that bad, but I definitely want to work to improve, because even if it is just one person, I want to be able to make that person feel more comfortable and okay with me. I don't like the fact that there's one person out there who thinks that who wouldn't really feel so sure about me being a leader, because that's a community I want to be in. I'm not great with words, but I want to be able to I want this community to be able to rely on me, and so to be able to do that, I'm gonna need 100% approval, or at least I'm gonna try to get 100% approval. When it comes to Max, last time he had 40% approval and 60% unsure, so it was 6 people who approved of him, 9 people who were unsure. This time Max has 19 people, 47.5% approval and 42.5%, 17 people unsure, with 4 people 10% disapproving. So while Max did increase his approval rating by 7.5%, it is still low and not where it should be for a co-leader. And so obviously I'm going to work close with Max and have him take in charge on much more things, because it's unacceptable. So approval ratings, those are fun, because we got 25 more form people to respond to the form than we did previously. So, and that was something. And I'm not trying to say anything, but Sage, if you are watching, just to put in comparison to how important these approval rating form, disapproval rating, or specifically your results are, you had 28 voters on election day, and you didn't have nowhere near that number on your approval form in your favor. That's bad. So, try to work with the community, try to find common ground and fix what's going on, because that's not good. So I guess we can finally cheer that we actually have a Donald Trump of Pawn, because low approval ratings, you get it. I'm so funny, I know, right? I thought it was funny. So next topic, which is Pawn's upcoming project. What? Yes, I know, right? Wow, another project. I don't know if that's something to cheer about, because the big problem that led me to formulate this project is a lot of problems with Pawn. It's not something about like saying let's aim for new heights, let's go out to where we should be. It's 2020 has been a disastrous year in total normally, but for Pawn it's been much more worse. We failed on many frontiers. And while even last podcast I talked about Pawn's future conference from last year, to where we aimed too high and how we might be able to reach 1,000 members for Discord by the end of the year, I highly doubt we're going to reach that threshold by the end of the year. I don't think Pawn will hit 1K members before 2021, which is sad to say, but and I know as a leader I should be out here being optimistic, like we can do this, we're going to do this, we're going to make it here, but I'm not going to be optimistic any more on important stuff like this, because a lot of recently I've been leading myself astray and telling myself it's okay, we're going to get through this, but I think it's time to look at it with a realistic approach, find solutions to try to reach that, or at least get close to it. Because sure, it's a nice thought to say that we can make it to 1K members by the end of the year, but it's highly unlikely. And then especially with Pawn's future conference and all that, and Pawn Rewind. And I want to take a minute to talk about Pawn Rewind, because people say don't focus on the past or whatever, but literally Pawn Rewind makes me focus on the past because of Pawn, so I don't have a choice there. But I think we might do Pawn Rewind. I'm collecting stuff together for potential Pawn Rewind 2020. I'm not sure if we will though. It might be there, but so Pawn has an upcoming challenge, which will determine if Pawn makes it to 2021 or not. I don't say that to cause any fear or be dramatic or anything, but with the way Pawn's going, a lot of things are not alright, which I will explain in my upcoming project. So most importantly, currently we obviously have a lot of rents that go unresponded to, and that's not okay. We always want people to get a response so that they feel cared for, and so that we can lift them out of the mood that they're currently feeling. But as school starts back for many people, either online or in person, and in certain cases, some people are having to choose between either going back to school to make it easier for themselves while risking getting COVID-19, or staying home and doing it online where it's much harder while protecting their health. A lot of people are going to be more distanced from Pond, and that's not good. The school time is always the worst for Pond, and summer I say is our peak because a lot of people are free. But it's always this time around when it comes to August, September, October, November, where we struggle the most because it's school time. And so, like I said, the upcoming months will determine Pond's future because compared to last year, we were kind of at this exact situation. It felt like, at least it feels like to me. And because of how things ran, I ended up near the end of September launching Project Disinfection. Because we had a lot of problems within our community, we had a lot of rude people, and believe it or not, we have a lot of rude people right now, which is why I'm launching another project, which includes somewhat of that. We had workers who just weren't doing their job, and believe it or not, we have workers who are not doing their job now. And so we have a lot of problems, and it's kind of repetitive at this point. So, even in 2019, we were like, okay, we're just gonna pick ourselves up, we're gonna aim high, and we're gonna work through this. And rightfully so, we were able to sort of come to a resolvement with Project Disinfection. We were able to cleanse the community. We were able to remove certain people who had actually managed to be creating a toxic environment, a negative environment within our positive community. And make no mistake, there's no way that we'll ever be 100% squeaky clean. Every community will have a downside. That's no doubt about it. You cannot perfect something, and no matter how hard you plan it, it won't go 100% to plan. But we were able to remove some people from the workforce and the community. The problem here is that one of the people which Project Disinfection was based on are already back in Pond. So it's a stressful environment. They're not causing problems this time, but it's awkward, you know? And I'm gonna be honest, Pond starting off in 2021 will be harder than how it started off in 2020. And you gotta, I wanna compare it, because in 2020 we had just left Roblox. We had no base whatsoever. We were starting off raw with nothing in our favor, and we had a better start off than we will in 2021 because we are back on Roblox. But the problem is we don't have the, I'm not trying to insult me, Max, or myself, but we don't have the right leadership that will lead Pond in a successful 2021 if things keep going the way they're going. That's why I'm about to launch a project on this. But because and when we started 2020, we had Pastel and Paka, both tremendous and wonderful people, amazing co-leaders who honestly gave their hearts and hardest work to Pond. But we don't have them anymore. And while Pastel is on the sidelines and Paka's working with us as helper, it just isn't the same. And it's not like we can just say, okay, we're going to drag you back in here so you can help us, because that's not right on us both. And if we do that, we ignore the problem, which is me and Max need to improve as a leader. I'd say more on Max, because, you know, approval rating and how everyone feels about him, not knowing him that much. But also me, because if Pond's going to be able to make it to 2021, we're going to have to work through a lot of stuff, a lot of barriers especially. And so Pond's been, I'm not going to lie to you, I've definitely thought of closing Pond down so many times this month. I don't know if that's a great thing to say, but I'm just being brutally honest. I'm not going to go through with it, of course. But it's not really left my mind, because a lot of things aren't running smoothly. And while we're able to help some people, it feels like there's more negatives than positives. But instead of closing it down, I think I want to aim with trying to dig deep into the negatives and improve it. So Pond's upcoming challenge will be to definitely ensure that we can start 2021 on the right note. So 2019, Pond had multiple lockdowns in the upcoming time that we're about to be in with these last few months of 2020. And make no mistake, Pond should be in. Honestly, if anything, we probably should lock down Pond so we can dedicate more time to it. But I'm not gonna do that because lockdowns slow everything down and honestly kind of disenfranchise the community. And if our community keeps becoming less attached both after drama and then a lockdown, then we're gonna have harder time trying to reunite said community. I don't want to resort to a lockdown, and I don't think I will. But honestly, we probably should have locked down a while back, but we didn't. So 2021 is definitely going to be an interesting year if Pond somehow makes it to it. But don't. What's it called? Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a big challenge. And fortunately enough, I am stubborn, so I'm ready to fight through that challenge any way I can. So for my next topic, which is the upcoming project. Should I say the name? I'm thinking. At first, I was gonna steal Joe Biden's campaign thing, "Build Back Better," because I was like, "That's nice." I'm stealing that. Give it to me now. But then I decided to make my own name because original, which is the project's gonna be called Upgrade Together. Corny, I know, but when it comes to the project, so far, the document has 9 problems I want to deal with. And don't get me wrong, there's probably going to be much more. This is going to be one of the longest documents I've made and the longest filled projects. That's why I'm starting to, like, 2 months earlier than Project Disinfection, because we have a lot to work with. And I'll just name the current 9 we have, which is number 1, combating the negativity and drama within our community that keeps turning people away, chasing members outside of our community, and honestly ruining our community for what it is. Next is improve or remove. And I want to look at Sage's current channels with that. There is nothing happening there, and if we cannot improve on that or other channels like blogs, etc., then maybe it's time we remove it because it's not benefiting Pond and it's just sitting there doing nothing. And on to the next topic, use it or lose it. This mainly will focus around good noodles, but it'll also focus on stuff like general VC, etc., because I've been seeing less people use these kind of things a lot. Friendly reminder, if you're a good noodle, that you need to actually redeem your points yourself by DMing a administrator or Dom, pretty much. And if you don't use it, or if you're not really getting points, or keeping up to date with your, or if you're like, because I'm looking at one person specifically right now who got good noodles, but they haven't done a thing to redeem their points. You're gonna lose it, and you're not gonna be allowed to be in the good noodles again because you're just not using the membership, and so you're essentially wasting space. No offense, but because the whole idea of the Good Noodle membership is to make it a premium experience for those who really want to be invested in Pond. If you're there making it more premium and not really using it or being invested, then why would you be there? So my next thing would be moving up in Pond, because we definitely got to be able to provide moving up opportunities in Pond. But don't get me wrong, we cannot be so eager to push people up. We've done that before and it did not go well. And so my biggest thing I would look at right now is the helpers department. I told them we're gonna get a department manager. I let some people apply, but all honesty, I don't think I want to give them a department manager because I think we need to fix it first. And I don't know, because I've gotten complaints that there's not that much room for people to move up in Pond. But it's funny because we have to look at a lot of aspects, and most of these people who genuinely want to be able to move up, I don't think they're ready for it. They need to do better at their job, but they want more opportunities. So it's definitely something we need to be able to find common ground and work on, so people can move up, but only people who are actually invested in doing a decent job are moving up. And then the next part would be accountability, which would be for me and Max, because we're not above anyone else. We're all here in this together, and if Max or me are not doing a good job, or we're not representing the community, then we definitely need to be held accountable. I'll go more into that later on the document, but then the next topic would be frequent updates, so that we could keep the community new and moving, because if we are so hesitant to add things or update it to make it more better, then it's gonna disenfranchise and lose value. And the next would be obviously events and competitions, being able to plan a more frequent schedule and have it so that events aren't always being canceled every month because of a few problems. And then my next thing would obviously be rent channels and helpers for the topic, because a lot of people seem to complain when helpers aren't responding to things, and I hate it because it's like, I'm sorry, are you either boss, are you either father? I don't think you are. And Of course, we're gonna hold workers accountable if they don't do work. But you got to understand these people have a life. And for you to be so demanding to say, oh, well, they need to be responding to every single rant, I don't think that's your place to speak. I'm saying that rhetorically because I've had conversations with some people and I've seen other people say things and it's like, can you not? But and then my next topic would be administration. Most importantly, because administration is not what it once was. It was so much better once and now it's not. And then so the next, obviously, which that also means head admin or head administrator also has to be questioned, because honestly, if head admin is not working as it should be when it comes to the political part, where people are campaigning on all this stuff and then when they actually get the position they're not doing that well of a job or actually being there and present, then it's time we remove the political part of head admin. I added that because I thought it would be interesting to get the community involved while also ensuring that we make it so that we can start preparing people and seeing how actual politics and real world work, kind of training people for the real world. But I mean, at this point, if it's not working, we're gonna remove it. And I already have my eyes on who will be the head administrator when it becomes a position. And it will be Dom, so help me God, because she is the only one deserving and worthy of the position. Because I don't know about you, but under any other head administrator, there were not as many jobs as Dom brought. And even if there were jobs brought, they didn't work out because they were poorly planned. But under Dom, there were new jobs. And you know what? You wanna know what? You wanna know something? Those jobs are still here. So, I'm not trying to say anything, but out of everyone I know so far, Dom would be the most filling for that. And so that's so far what I got for the Pond project that's coming up. Now remember, it's called Upgrade Together, because we're going to upgrade Pond together. So, and so I want to take more moment because our community keeps becoming divided slowly, if no one has been noticing by now. And I'm not trying to say that to be some fearmonger or anything, but it just has. Pond's community is not what it once was because of a lot of the drama and stuff that's happened, and it's not okay. Because you have people who are just trying to come here and speak, or just be involved with Pond or talk in Pond or interact with Pond. And then you have people who are rude, who think it's funny when it's not funny. Being rude, being an asshole, it's not funny. And it's not being edgy, you're just being an asshole. No one likes that. And so with part of that, and people who come here and then they break rules on purpose, or they go at members for certain things, especially in rant channels, selfies, other stuff, to try to be funny, it's not funny. And so when I say upgrade together, I mean we have to be in it together. It's time for Pond to unify and go through this together so that we can start 2021 the right way. Because united we will stand and divided we will fall. Pond's not anything without its community. No matter what, it is because of the community that Pond is here today. And so if our community keeps becoming more divided, if our community turns a blind eye on these people who seek nothing but to pick on others for their appearance or how they go about things, and we just let it keep happening and happening and happening, we're eventually going to hit a point where we're not going to be getting any new members, and we're going to hit a point to where Pond will start to fall through the cracks. Because while we as the leaders can do what we can to try to improve the community, we need the entire community to be a positive community, at least as much as they can. And I say this because a while ago we were like 538 members, now we're at 527. And so, if we can't take this moment to unite, especially when everything is so shitty around us, so that we can try to find a common goal, to find happiness in small things, so that we can be able to be a community that's not like others, then we're gonna fail. And so I can confidently say that hate has no place in Pond. Negativity has no place in Pond. I'm done with it. And while we've had lacking in administration when it comes to getting onto workers, I'm done with it. We're gonna find a solution, hopefully, and we're gonna move forward. And if that means that we stop relying on them as much, because I mean I've been getting on the people for stuff, I'm happy to do it because you got to keep the hose in check, you know what I mean? But I'll keep doing it. So yeah, this is a very important moment right now. And it wouldn't be as hard as it is, honestly, if we just had a head administrator who knew how to unify and bring the community together. And that's no offense to Sage, but can you at least give Pawn some of the time? You know, like at least a quarter% of how much time you dedicate to your lover. No offense, but it feels like your lover has dragged you away from Pawn. Honestly, that's how I feel personally, as someone who's in the community with you, not as your boss. Because as your boss, I've seen what you're doing, and I like it. I like the policies you've introduced. I do believe you can improve on some stuff, but I think I'm not saying it is her male. I'm saying personally, that's how I feel. Because I mean, he wasn't that active in the campaign trail, and then well, now we're here. But I'm just gonna stop relying on head administrators as much. To do their part to unite the community. At this point, if the community is going to need a leader, I'm going to be the leader I need to be and try to bring us all together as much as I can. And then obviously if that's not able to work out, or if I'm not able to do that, we can definitely look into getting much more better leadership for Pawn. But okay, let's see how long this podcast has gone on for. 31 minutes, not that bad. So I don't repeat myself, I guess we can move to community questions if anyone has any questions on anything related to what I said or anything in general. Hi, I'm Astra. You can ask your questions now if you have a question. If you don't, forever hold your peace. Yeah. Hopefully Puffer will be here next time. Typing, be like, am I right? I'm so funny. Why is the department manager application nearing 10 days? It shouldn't take that long. You mean for helper? Then what do you mean? I opened it, yeah, for helpers department at the time to see if we were gonna move into department manager, yeah. And I closed it. Why? Because I wanted to see if we needed a department manager, and I wanted to see who would be willing to move up. Yeah. But with all due respect, and not to come off as rude, but it actually is none of your concern when that I didn't get people's hopes up. And like I said, it's none of your concern because it was in relation to a department that you were not a part of. Originally, I thought I got a department manager because someone told me that without a department manager, they feel as if they don't want to do their job as much. So I looked into it, and how I saw fit. No one who applied was a decent helper at the time. They weren't doing their job too much. And so I was like, okay, we're going to put that off for now, and we're going to focus on improving the helpers department and getting onto the inactive ones so that we can move forward. And then one of the helper applications, had already pulled their application out anyways. I didn't get their hopes up, and when you look at stuff like that with such a negative mind to make it look like it's a bad situation, obviously it's going to look like it's a bad thing. No, I opened the application because someone said we need a department. They were essentially threatening their job if we didn't let someone be a department manager. We looked at the applicants, we weren't satisfied, and so we're just trying to work around the helpers department to better to perfect it. That's what happened. We didn't get their hopes up or anything, or we didn't scam them or cheat them or say or lie to them. We just opened it up because we were looking into getting a department manager. That's what happened. Any other questions?
Nah.
Shush. How dare you sit out the entire podcast and come in last second to try and make a noise? Necessary. The podcast was alright, I believe. Just sitting here, yeah. Anyone got any questions before we end the podcast? I was able to get through this entire podcast within 35 minutes, so that's pretty swag. How am I? I'm alright, I guess. I mean, I've seen better days, but I've also seen worse days, so I don't really have anywhere to speak. Red boat, it do be vibing though. Any other questions? Because I don't. No. I'm just sitting here patiently. How do I like being leader in the server? Ooh, I mean, it's okay. The only part I don't like is the part where I failed to do something, but I think I'm gonna improve on that. So, I like it pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna like it better once I introduce my upcoming project, Upgrade Together, because oh my god, it's gonna cover a lot of stuff and help us really improve. So, I love it. But because of how much I love my server, if Pon's not going to be functioning well with me as leader, I'm more than happy to step aside. Okay, bye, Puffer. That moment when typing. The project I'm working on, Upgrade Pond, is going to tackle a lot of the current problems with Pond. I explained it a little earlier, so if you joined a little later, that's your problem. But, let me try finding it. I can go over the main points of it. I'm not going to explain it though. I'll just watch the video. Yeah, but I can explain it in a summary real quick. While we wait for more potential questions, maybe JK. Unless, there it is. Here it is. Okay, so far it's going to focus on 9 big issues, which is combating negativity and drama, improve or remove, use it or lose it, moving up in Pond, accountability, frequent updates, events and competitions, rent channels and helpers, and administration. But I'm hoping to add more. Any questions? Any questions before I end this podcast? That moment when they ask a question in general chat. Got him. What if I don't read it? Also, you sent the wrong here. But can I explain further what I mean by moving up in pawn? I mean we're gonna work to find common ground to make sure, because I've already looked. I was thinking about it late last night. Because I don't know if it's at my liberty to say, but I mean it's I'll get to your question in a minute, H. But when it comes to moving up, we obviously need to be prepared as possible. And I already have a book of names right here that I can that I wrote in the event I left pawn, because at the time I was considering it. But obviously with respect to my longest worker and person who's done a lot behind the scenes, Max would take leader. However, I'm not leaving pawn anytime soon. So co-leader. Obviously, even though no one's closer to it, my most obvious pick, if I had to choose today for someone to go to co-leader, it would be Dom. And in supervisors, I've considered Sage or Paka, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I want to be able to provide I want to be able to provide people opportunities so they can go up. But the biggest problem with moving up is a lot of current workers just aren't doing good at their current job to be ready for another position that's higher than the current one they have. So that's a big part of the department manager debacle, where it was open, people applied, but we never chose one, because we need to improve how it's going already beyond them, be working with them so that we can have them doing a good job before we move them up. And I mean, with all due respect to the person who told me that we should have a department manager, with how helpers goes, they need to be a professional helper first so that we know they can assist every situation before trying to manage a department. So when it comes to moving up, obviously we need to be able to try to make it easier, but at the same time not. Because sure, it's a nice thing to be able to have that opportunity to move up, but this is about having much more responsibility. It's not just some giveaway, so obviously we have to be able to help people move up, but ensuring that only the right people are moving up, etc. Improve, not approve and remove, by the way, but the question was, how does improve it or remove it work? H, you misheard me, buddy. But no, improve it or remove it. I looked specifically at Sage's channels, other types of channels, and other stuff like his help channels, etc. If we're not able to improve it, or if it's not going to be used, we're just going to have to remove it, because it's not doing anything for pawn. So essentially, like stuff that we're not using as much, we need to either improve it and use it more, or we need to remove it so it's not just sitting there, etc. Any other questions? Oh, I don't hear typing, so I'm gonna say that's a no. So we good. I can move to closing statement before ending the podcast. Is that a yeah? Oh, let's go. I'm just gonna wait it out. Yes. All right. I want to thank everyone for attending this podcast. Anyone who's watching, pretty swag. Yeah. Wait, new unread. I don't know if that's the same situation. No, just commands. Bruh. You have to wait 5 minutes. What the hell was that noise? Oh, that's someone outside. Scared the shit out of me. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna, of course, end the YouTube thing here. Because you know how YouTube goes first, because it's just awkward when it comes to ending this. But thank you for watching, viewers.